Happy Saturday, chat. Thank you for joining me here today live. It is our final track review stream of the year. Can you believe it? Congratulations to all of you, everybody who has been spending their year making music. And thank you all, everybody who's been here following along with the channel, everybody who's been supporting the channel, my members, shout out to all of you, all of the viewers who just tune in and support with a subscribe and a like. I want to say thank you to all of you. It's been an amazing year. Well, for me personally, I feel like it's been an amazing year, personally and professionally. But as sort of the leader of this community, I can definitely say that it has been a huge year for many of you out there, because we've been doing these track review streams. We've been meeting as a community in all these different ways, you know, doing workshops and stuff. And I've seen so much growth from basically all of you out there. Like, if I see your name, if I recognize your name and you've been consistent and around, I can definitely say for each one of those people, I have seen great progress. So don't be afraid to give yourself a pat on the back once in a while. Take a second and reflect. Where were you at this time last year? Where are you now at this time? I'm very excited for that. So yes, today is a track review stream, meaning that you have the opportunity to submit music and get your music played on stream. The way you get your music played on stream is by supporting the stream, supporting the channel as a channel member. You can do that for as little as $2. $2 gets you access to not only being able to submit music for the stream, but it gets you access to our Discord server. I'm going to type !new member in the chat right now. And Nightbot, if Nightbot is awake and working today, which I haven't seen Nightbot yet, but hopefully that will work. Nightbot will give you detailed instructions. Yes, there it is. Nightbot is in the chat. There's a link there that teaches you how to connect your YouTube account to your Discord account from within Discord and get into the server, which is a fun place, fun community. And then when you become a member, there's also other perks like free downloads. If you join at the VIP tier, which is only $5, you can do all the same stuff. Plus, you get access to some members-only videos, some members-only workshops. Talk about more of that in a second. Let me say a hi to everybody who's here. Kirky Beats, hello. Mika. Gene, first time here at the live stream, loving this channel, learning a lot. Happy Saturday. Thank you so much. If it is also your first time, anybody else out there in a live stream, say hello. Skull Fader, what's good? This time last year, my DJing skills weren't as good as they are now, and I wasn't a music producer. I discovered this show, and now I'm producing beats. We love to hear it. Akash, hello. Itami, hello. Resin Rose, it's been a while, huh? Gabriel A, hello, thank you. Somebody became a member, a couple members before we got on live. Itami Beats, welcome to VIP. Thank you so much for becoming a VIP member. Akash, I see that you joined the community ahead of the stream. And lowercase I see that you also joined the community before we went live. Thank you. Hello, Ben Q. Hello, Aditya. I'm jumping up in the chat here. Kai, Mates, everybody who's here, thank you. Dot Key, Andre, Boongoat, Chadwick, Cree. I'm sorry if I miss your name. I'm losing track now, and it just jumped to the bottom. Essie, you're back. Thank you for being back. So, yes, if you are already a member, I assume that you've already submitted your track in our track review submissions channel on YouTube. If you haven't, go ahead and do that. If you're a new member, follow those instructions to connect your YouTube account to your Discord account and get in the server. Go ahead and post your tracks there. !new music if you need to find the guide for that again. Itami Beats says, I've been getting better at making music thanks to you. Thank you so much. I love to hear that. Sriharsha, thank you. First time, welcome. Dom, what's good? So happy that you are all here. Jessica Texera, thank you for being here. Hey dude, can I have a question? Ask a question, Resin Rose. Go ahead, ask a question. I can't guarantee I'll respond in a great way, but I'll respond in a way that will help you. Let me put it that way. Egrice, how's it going? Oh, new. I have to pay to submit? Yes. Submissions are for members only, and you could just become a member for as little as $2. But here, where did it go? Give me a second. Chat. Wanted to see if I could do something here. Can I do this? Stand by. Stand by. How's the mic level and how's the music level? I'm wondering if you all can hear the background music. I know we had a little trouble with audio levels last stream. We're gonna get into the music here in a second. I just wanted to give you all, just want to do a little Santa came early this year. 5 gifted memberships in the chat right now. So that's 5 people who possibly couldn't become a member before getting gifted a membership. So welcome, welcome. You're getting gifted a VIP membership. Shout out to Cahill, Ed Hamilton, Hair Like Frodo, Garrett M, and Dustin McAdams. That is done randomly, by the way. So welcome to those 5 new members gifted. Santa came early. If you were a lucky winner of that, congrats to you. Like I said, it's totally random. And we had 2 more come in. Kai, welcome to the community. And Igrais, welcome to the community. Thank you so much for joining. Audio levels are good. Thank you. Skullfader says, I remember your DJing video using a DJ controller in Pulse 200. That video was one of the many that inspired me to get that controller. That's crazy because I was just talking about that video the other day and how random it was because I don't do DJing, but I got to do that one beginner DJing video and it was pretty fun. All right, I have 2 monitors here, so why don't I use them? Let me show you some, let me pull up some stuff on screen. I think first and foremost, we should tell everybody we're live on Twitter so more people can come and find this fun community, right? That would be good. How do I submit my music again? Yes, other members, if you can help me with that question, because that's going to come up a bunch as people join and become new members, help me out with that so I don't have to stop the stream and derail every time. But submission is via Discord. You can join the Discord by going into Discord and connecting your YouTube account. Make sure you connect the proper YouTube account, the one that you're on with chatting, the one that your membership is tied to. And then you get access to our server where you'll find the channel. And that is not the command. The command is new member. Let me actually pin this. Type new member to learn how to join the Discord. I'm going to pin that. Yes, please help the new members get there. Hello, Piccolo Black. Nice to see you. All right, like I said, let's go ahead and promo the stream for a second. Yo, Josh West, welcome to VIP. Shout out to you. Where is it? That's the wrong button. This is the right button. All right, I'm on my Twitter page here. Join us live now. I want to hear your music. Join us live now. I want to hear your music. Boom. If you could help me out with a retweet of this tweet, that would be very, very helpful to help more people see the stream, help bring in more support, help bring in more producers to this community. That would be amazing. Twitter is @NickTejo. You can head over there and promo it if you feel like helping me out, then I would appreciate that. The other thing I want to point out too, before we get started here, is chat. Who else do you know? Let's pause the background music for a second. What other creators do you follow? Musicians, any type of person who makes content, any type of content creator, musician, producer, what have you. Who else do you know that uploaded 3 times this week? What other music producer do you know that is uploading helpful content for you 3 times this week? We got a performance, we got a tutorial, and we got another performance on new gear, new ways of making music. Not only that, this is the second live stream of the week. What other creator do you know? 3 videos and 2 live streams. Skullfader says Servita. I think he uploaded 3 times this week. Forget about it, because you know what? I'm going to have a 4th upload this week, and that's a video that's coming out tomorrow, which I do not want you to miss. Do not want you to miss the video tomorrow. The video tomorrow is, I just realized I have to do something for it, but is me going up to a cabin in the woods, attempting to make a beat tape in 24 hours, and it going horribly wrong. So if you want to see that, turn on post notifications. That helps the channel a lot. The thing about it, the reason you hear people say that all the time is because, and we can throw the background music back on, is because YouTube does this thing where it shows your video to more people based on who watches it when it initially launches. So if you all like my channel, but say you don't watch the videos till like 4 days later, first of all, you might forget about it 4 days later, but also YouTube won't show it to everybody else if you don't watch it like when you see it. You just scroll past it, etc. So it's very, very helpful. That's why the notifications thing is important. When the video gets posted, its first hour, 2 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, kind of determine its trajectory. It's a shame that it works that way, but you know. Chadwick says, I always hit the notify me button. Thank you, Chadwick. Yes, that's much appreciated. Couple new memberships came in. Purox Beats, I hope I'm saying that right, and Beast DJ, welcome to the party. Thank you for joining the community. That sounds like great content. Yeah, I think it's pretty good. So that video is dropping tomorrow. Look out for that tomorrow in the AM. It was a very exciting video to make. It was a stressful video to make. It was a chaotic video to make. Cyanopsia, how are you doing? I'm doing well. I'm here chilling with all of you on a Saturday, so we're going to listen to some music from this great community. What do I have to complain about? Nothing. But yes, chat. In the meantime, if you haven't watched the 3 videos that came out this week, 2 with the Rise 2, 1 with the new Akai controllers, also did a whole stream earlier this week on the new Akai controllers. So check that out. Skullfader says, who's your favorite musician/artist? That's very hard to say. Singer named IU, she's great. A group named Twice, they're great. I like a band called the 1975 as well. All that good stuff. I would love it. I would love to hear what you all are listening to. Like, who are your favorite musician artists right now? Right now, my favorite artist is Sohn, says Chadwick Ryder. Cheapest way to soundproof my home studio? If you mean soundproof, like make it so nobody can hear outside of your room, there's no real cheap way to do that, and that's way more complicated. There's nothing you can just easily buy for that. If you mean like try to improve the acoustics of the room, like try to deaden it so there's less reflections, having furniture and fabrics and blankets and things like that around are helpful. I have some panels up. This room is still very echoey. I have some panels up that help on whatever parallel walls I have just to try to deaden the sound. It's very much the solution, I would say, Resin Rose, is like you're gonna have to, if you need complete soundproofing, like say you want to record a vocal, you want a totally dead thing, get some shielding, something for the microphone for a particular situation. But generally there's no cheap, easy way to soundproof a room, unfortunately. Can I share your channel? What does that mean, Beast DJ? You mean the Discord channel? No, the Discord channel is for members only. Girlfriend by Hemlock Springs. That's another favorite artist, I think. Hope you enjoy my track just submitted. Yes, we're going to get to those in just a moment. I love Perfume. Ludwig Göransson. Ludwig Göransson is the one who's doing some Star Wars scoring, right? It's pretty cool. CMYK. One OK Rock. Blue Swing. Aphex Twin, etc. Cool. Yeah, BCJ, if you want to share the YouTube channel, that'd be great. But the Discord channel is for members. Right now, my favorite is RM, his newest album, Indigo Bumue. I haven't listened to it yet, but I think I should. I like Marshmello, James Hype, Jack Harlow, BTS, and Raymu, says Skullfader. Nice. Kartik is currently listening to John Williams. Can't go wrong there. Urban Farms Project says, I love 53 Thieves music. I don't know them. Beast DJ, thank you so much for the super chat. Just saw that. Super chat. Piccolo Black says, favorite artist is Eminem for sure. Same energy. I saw Eminem live once at Boston Calling. That was an insane crowd. It was just huge. And he's one of those people, I think I told the story on stream before, but he did his show and he has so many songs. I don't think he played a full song front to back. It was just probably like verse and chorus of every huge hit back to back to back to back to back. Or at least that's what it felt like. Strawberry Embassy says, bringing some good vibes on this beautiful Saturday. Thank you, Strawberry Embassy. And Sean Hallier, thank you for joining. Welcome. Andre says, I'm a huge soundtrack consumer. Usually people say my music fits in films and games. That makes a lot of sense. I think it's like, so on Andre, check out the Andor soundtrack. Or what do you think of it if you've already listened to it? Josh West says, also the artist Giant Claw. Nice. All right, I'm going to get my tabs situated here, of course, because we must begin our track review. And I should bring up Discord for this. But this is a good convo about what everybody's listening to. Feel free to also chat about this over on the Discord. That's always helpful. Well, not helpful, but that's always good to have in our Discord. And hey, Tommy Beats, thank you so much for the $4 dono. Appreciate that. And you're already a member too. Essie says Zanino. Some artists I haven't heard of before. May I ask where you see chats with posts music? All the tracks are going to be posted if you're in the server. There's a member section called Track Review Submissions. That is where all of these submissions currently are. Here, I'll bring it up like this. We'll get the tabs situated. So we'll have chat here. Actually, I usually don't have Discord here. I usually have the web browser. Let me get that squared away. Make this long. Reverb still on. Thank you, Kartik. SDK, long time no see. Thanks for jumping in. Andre, I didn't know you had a radio show. Tell me more about that. Beast DJ, you don't have Discord? I recommend you just quickly make a Discord account. Yeah, I think it's pretty easy. You can download the app and get that all situated. You got plenty of time to do that. Don't feel like you have to rush or anything. All right, I'm going to bring up our first, let me first scroll up to where we were. I believe our first submission was General Jem the Jet, who submitted before I had to change the date. So I want to make sure we get this submission in. All right, cool. Yeah, Beast DJ, just go ahead and download the Discord app, join our server. The directions are there if you type new member, and you'll be able to get in. It has to be through there or else it just gets chaotic and you can't send links in chat, so it's all a mess. It has to all be through Discord. And it does say that right in the description and everything. Wanderer says, hey, tried to join your Discord and connected, but can't seem to join. Maybe I'm stupid or something. Wanderer Beats, you have to join as a member. So I can see right there that you're not a member in chat. You have to hit the join button below. Nope. Beast DJ, it's all through Discord. That's what it says in the description. Thank you for the donation. Thank you for becoming a member. We just can't have it be everybody's doing something different. So that's the mechanism. That's how you submit. And that's how it's done. You can very easily download Discord right now and get in on the server. Andre, you're telling me about your radio show? About the lore, video games, or any random news from the Star Wars blog. All right, let's get into listening to some music here. I will kill my background music. We'll listen to what General Jem the Jet has going here. A free J. Cole, Young Thug, Drake, freestyle, type beat, Caped Crusader. All right, let's hear it. And y'all are going to have to keep me posted on the levels. As usual, I'm going to give my thoughts and feedback over these tracks. Feel free to share encouragement, constructive criticism here on this stream. That's what we're looking for. Nice little structure here. I kind of wish the horns had more top end on them, more brightness. And those chords, dun, 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 dun. Those seem to be panned mostly to the right, but that seems more like an element that should be kind of spread wide in both ears, and then your melodic elements should be down the center. That is in the chat. Nice. That piano thing at the end was cool. I wonder if you could have brought that in somewhere as like a little B section in the middle and like rebuilt up to this. It could have used like a little, not rest in the middle, but an opportunity to build some tension in the middle and then come back to the big heavy hitting stuff. Of course, this is a type beat that you're intending for people to sing or rap over, so we understand that there's some element, it feels like something's missing, and that's because, yes, there is. But I love the villainous theme. So good job on this one. Yeah, I think a little bit of structure change, a little tension building in the middle, bringing in some of this sweet piano from the end, make it like emotional, and then build back up. Brass, give it a little more top end. Don't do the weird panning thing on the right. Have those chords kind of spread wide because they're like the basis of your track, you know? Good first one. Good way to kick it off from General Jam the Jet. Thank you for that submission. We got up next our friend Moon Goat. Can I... give me 1 second. I'm going to log into Spotify because this is going to make my life easier throughout the rest of the stream. Incorrect username and password. I never know what my username or password is for Spotify. I might just open it up in Spotify. Oh, I can use my email. Perfect. I love to create, but don't know where to start. Any recommendations? Think about who are your favorite artists and what do they make? What do you like about what they make? And try to recreate something similar. If you start from scratch, it can be a little bit overwhelming, but if you try to first emulate things, then you can start to go on your own direction, but you have a starting point, right? You have like, I'm going to make something that sounds like XYZ. And then you've started on that path, and then you can branch off that path eventually. All right. Boom. What is my username anyway? I don't even know my Spotify username. I'm going to just open it up in Spotify, but it is easier for me to open it in the web browser. I'll try that in a second. All right. Web browser version not working, so let's just get this up here. Futuro. This is my track QI. What am I listening to here, Moon Goat? Which track am I listening to? Oh, QI. I see it. Thank you. I know what I'm doing. Don't worry. As usual, if you see an artist that you like, or if you hear an artist that you like, please go follow them on their pages, Spotify, YouTube, etc. The intro is very interesting. A lot of this guitar, Moongo. Like these chords here, are these guitar? Because I really like them. Is it a keyboard? I can't tell. Okay, I was almost interested here at this section, switching into like a piano sample section. Went a little off the rails there. This vibe right here is cool. Reminds me of something that I can't quite put my finger on. I love that riff too. All right, so yeah, here's the thing, and that end stinger really made me remember how this song started. This musical idea here, the riff, and then that is a great way to start a track, right? It's not even a bad way to end the track either. But what I notice is everything in that intro, in those first few seconds, is very bright. And then the rest of the track is kind of mellow and washed out in a cool way, which I think is really cool. If you didn't get that. But those two things don't really match. So I'm wondering what the vision was here. Because the whole time, when we go to the mellow part, that's cool. But I'm almost expecting to get to a chorus that brings back in some of the elements that are here. But it never goes back to that. It just stays in this mellow vibe. And if I recall, Moongoat, the last entry you submitted, the feedback was that there was too much random stuff. Like you were going from this section to this section to this section, and they didn't really connect. I think you did a little bit better on this one, because I think this chord section, and then we go to the picked section, or this is chords plus piano, that works well. And then this part, those muted picks, those all work really well together. This random piano chop section did not really fit. The chops sound random. It doesn't sound like you really thought about the musical idea that's happening here. It sounds like you're just kind of sampling and chopping for the sake of chopping. So that can totally be improved. And then just think about some of those things. Like, what are you setting the listener up for if you open with this and never kind of resolve it or come back to it? Otherwise, there are some very good musical ideas in here. The guitar stuff, the washed out stuff is good. I think you can make it more concise, more focused, and it'd be pretty good. Just be careful with your sections. Don't have sections for the sake of having sections. The initial sections are good. When you break into something random like those piano chops, it's like, okay, weird. You can do weird stuff, but it has to connect in some way. Add some post-jazz elements similar to Glasper. I don't know if it was that intentional. I think it was more like, I want to add some chopped piano chords and like have a hip-hop vibe. And it was just kind of not executed as well. You could have in that section, because it's like bridge area, you could have, done something, leaned into the washed out thing, had some random piano chops and have it be like atmospheric and floating around. Now that would have been interesting, but it also speaks to the other nature of the track, which is like, it just kind of goes through. You have different sections. There's never really tension and release, which is fine for a chill beat like this, but you either have to commit to that or find ways to build tension and release throughout the track. So it's like one or the other, all that feedback. But otherwise, Moongoat, I think you're doing great and you're making awesome music. You're releasing way more music than I had released when I was your age. So good work. Let's keep rolling. And I got to scan through how many submissions we got here. Oh, we have another good one waiting for Thursday. Spotify. It's another Spotify one. Let's see how many submissions we got. Someone gifted me a membership. Thank you. That was Santa. Came early this year, Dustin. Yes. Beast DJ, please follow the directions at the link on the new member post. Follow those directions and you will get in the server, I promise. Just follow the directions. Solid bridge section. We lost the bass line and now the chords are all kind of washy and delayed. Oh. We don't have the bass line back yet. Boom. See how taking things away and building back to it makes it more satisfying. Now the bass is moving. Some dusty boom bap. All right, this is one of those tracks where I want to talk about what's great about it. What can we learn from this track? Of course, it's a dusty boom bap track, so that kind of dictates what elements we'd expect, and we nailed all those elements, in my opinion. Or Waiting for Thursday nailed all those elements. But it's also a good example of doing a lot with a little, right? You can make a dynamic, interesting track just by using some key elements. So what do we hear? We got drums, piano sample, and bass. Of course, got the vinyl crackle. My mom is in the chat as well. All right, so that's the intro of the track. Let's get into this next section here. Pull the drums out for a transition. Adding hi-hat. And now we have the same elements. We added hi-hat, but now the bass is moving. So it's not just adding a new element, it's doing something different with your element. Notice how this is also propelling us forward. The track is gaining momentum as we go until we eventually are going to get to the bridge section, which is right here. So you notice that was a gaining of momentum. We were adding elements, and then elements were sort of increasing in rate or feel. Then we went to a section where things got more mellow. And now we have to build up again, which makes it super satisfying when we get to... Where is it? Makes it super satisfying when we get to like this section here, which is kind of the final chorus. That new synth comes in with that bit crushed sound. So really altogether, there's drums, there's piano, bass, there's that synth at the end. Or like keyboard. I don't know if I would call it a synth, just keyboard. 4 elements through this entire track, and it sounds like a perfectly finished, beautiful track, right? I'm taking notes. That's what I'll say. I'm taking notes. Thank you, Waiting for Thursday, for that submission. That was a great one. All right, Mika Silk, what you got for us here? Next submission. All right, Spotify, chill. Where is it coming from? All right, Mika Silk. Listen. I kind of feel like I want to listen to this on big speakers. Says it's been 2 years that I've been producing music. Learn lots from having joined this community. Happy holidays, everybody. Yes, thank you for the submission, Mika. I love the stuff you've got going on with, the atmospheric nature of your music. The way that it's kind of becomes just like beautiful tones. And then I hear you're like mixing in some more melodic material, more stuff to grab onto. Like that's the first thing I noticed, right? The beat that comes in. Okay, cool. I'm nodding along. I'm feeling that beat. And then the synth that comes in later that takes the lead and starts playing that melody over the top. I think that's great. It also sounds like you probably have a field recording in here, or it's like a noise sample, like a tape noise or something. Maybe it's vinyl crackle. Or maybe it's a percussion element. I don't know. I hear something in there, and I think the main feedback I have for this track would be the overall general mix. Because what I noticed when listening to it, I want to listen to it both on my speakers and my headphones while I thought about this. There's a bit of harshness in the high mids that I would just be careful of, because I think the sound you want to go for, and I think probably a lot of your references probably have a bit of a warmer tone to them. And we usually don't describe things as having a very cool or cold tone, but I think this track does have a cold and crispy tone, which, maybe that does fit the theme of the track. A thick bark helps protecting the cold winter. But those highs are a little bit harsh, and I want to feel more warmth in this. Even though this is a track about coldness, it is okay to have some elements of cold. But especially like things like the chords. Not to mention, I didn't really hear a bass line throughout most of the track. I hear basically no low end. I'm actually curious what this track looks like if I just throw it into the DAW and look at an EQ. What I'm imagining is there's going to be lots of bounce and lots of activity in the mids and highs, and there's going to be very little activity in the lows. But we need those lows to round out the listening experience. And I think to build the big spatial world that you're trying to build, you will want to do that as well. So that would be my main advice, is try to think of the frequency spectrum when you're building these tracks and think about what fits where. And that can start before mixing. That can start in your like actual instrumentation. Oh, these chords, but where should these chords fit? These chords are going to be like the warm, low, mid stuff. And then we're going to have our bass that's in the bottom. And now I'll decorate with some stuff, crispiness on top. You know, like thinking about that in the composition stage is very helpful. And then, of course, later on in the mixing stage, making sure that things don't clash. But I love that you're bringing in the melodic elements here, especially this plucked string stuff. A nice sub bass would really fill out the track, says Kirky Beats. I agree, because that gives you your underlying chord progression. So you can either be building, or you can be coming down, or you can move the emotion even more forward. I assume that's a vocal sample. Is that you? Is that your vocal, or did you grab a sample from somewhere? That's really cool too. There's cool stuff with panning happening in this track, and you all know I usually pop off about panning, but I don't mind it here because it's building up a spatial world. Thank you, Mika, for that submission. Great work, especially, you know, over the past 2 years of producing music. Shout out to you for your music producing anniversary. More of this stuff. Yeah, more of this stuff in 2023. Is Warm Reflection, that's a new artist name, right? Or have you always been going by that? It seems new to me, but maybe I just forgot. But would love to see a Warm Reflection ambient or shoegaze-esque album in 2023. Thank you. Very good submissions today, of course. And I didn't mention this at the top, but I usually do. Of course, we have people submitting at all levels of production. Some people have been producing, like Mika, for 2 years. Some people even more than that. Some people have been producing for 1 month or even less than that. And we take it all into account. And the purpose here is not to judge one track against the other, but the purpose here is to judge tracks based on their relationship to you and your experience as a producer, how long you've been creating, your journey. Of course, I'll take the opportunity to push you when needed. I'll take the opportunity to encourage you when needed, all that. But that means we can give some good constructive criticism here. And it's not based on, oh, that track was better than that track. It's based on you and your tracks that you make, your growth as an artist. That's the vibe here. So thank you all for tuning in. I'm glad you're enjoying the show. Please make sure you leave a like on the stream while we listen to these tracks. And make sure you subscribe to the channel. Notifications are helpful too, especially since there's a new video coming out tomorrow that I think you all will enjoy. Here's Essie.
And your mind saying, what if I fall? Well, what if you don't? What if you fly?
Nice. I love the gentle percussion and drums. Sounding like a lo-fi loft track. Good point. SC says, I'm back. I originally made this for my final in school, but I was really proud of it, even though it's kind of a simple track. I also wanted something to come back from my art block with. This is fantastic. SC, oh wait, what just happened at the end there? Oh, interesting ending. This was cool. I think it could have been longer. I think you could have pushed it to 2 minutes if you built in a little bit of a B section at some point. But you did a good job with the intro and the outro. Obviously, the core elements of the track here is really good. Is there a rain track in this? It sounds like it. Little gentle rain on the window. Another example of a great lo-fi track because it keeps things simple with the elements. It's not doing too much. Piano, bass, drums, a little bit of guitar, melody or something. Good work. I wonder what grade did you get on it in school? So, I usually pop off about people using quotes because oftentimes people overuse quotes or they like make it like the main element of the track and it's really annoying. This is a good use of audio and a quote, and I'll tell you why. First of all, it's used to set the tone at the intro. I like that.
After all, what came before? You just gotta bend your knees, take it.
But it's also blended with all the other elements. It's not on top like, hey, listen to this. You must listen to this quote. It's kind of, I don't want to say buried, but it's blended, and it's not like in my ear. I can listen closer if I want. I can lean into it. Like that's what it kind of draws my attention to do. Lean into it. So that first piece of feedback that I was saying is like, I think this track could be extended a little bit, just for the sake of wanting to be in the world of this track a little bit longer. I just want to hear this transition of this section again. There's just some little percussion elements added. And there's little vocal whispers happening. I'm just realizing that now listening again. And they're not overbearing. They almost become like percussion elements, which is really good. I think once we roll past this transition point to ready, go. I think right there is where a new B section could come in. You could keep a similar piano part, but just bring things back down. Drums go away, everything builds back up, and then we come back at the end, and maybe at the end, one new melodic element comes in. And then my last piece of advice is around mixing. Piano can sometimes be tricky, especially when there's reverb involved. I think something that happens is, or something I'm hearing in this track is some of those higher notes are popping out a little bit louder than the others. A little more compression, but also just paying attention to things like velocities. If you want it to be soft, make sure those velocities are not going above a point where they get too loud. That's just a little minor thing. Otherwise, Essie, somebody mentioned it earlier, could fit in the Lo-Fi Loft playlist. Yes, we have a community playlist which Nightbot posts about regularly in chat. So if you do end up releasing this track on Spotify, I would love to add this to the Lo-Fi Loft playlist. I would add it as it is, but if you want to try to improve upon it and then release it, that's cool too. Anything in this similar genre, this similar sound fits in that playlist. Art Owen says, first time here, and this is the first track I hear. Wow, I'll be back. Love to hear that, Art. Yeah, we do these streams once a month for anybody who's new. We do track feedback streams once a month. I stream every Thursday, of course, making music with new tech, new tools, new plugins, or just making music in general. That's every Thursday. Answer production questions, show you my process. Once a month, we do these track reviews. Once a month, we do a members-only workshop, which is very, very fun. So if you're a join the community member, you want to upgrade to VIP, we have an upcoming members-only workshop on Wednesday. That'll be live. You can join live, but you can also watch it after the fact. And if you become a VIP member, you can actually watch our past, what have we done now? 4 or 5? Let me find this. Let me show this. Members-only videos. Let me bring this playlist up real quick so y'all can see it. So this is VIP members get access to this. We have how to build a career in music. That's a 2-hour workshop. Making videos for music producers, another 2-hour workshop. How to find your unique sound. That's a 90-minute workshop. How to analyze and learn from your favorite music. That's about a 2-hour workshop there. So you get instant access to 2, 4, 6, call it maybe 7.5, 8 hours of workshop content, plus little behind the scenes cable management video, other random little behind the scenes videos. You can watch all those. So VIP members, look out for that. The next one is coming up. What did I say? When is it coming up? It is coming up. Members Only Workshop 5 is coming up on Wednesday. So members only streams and stuff are not the easiest to find on YouTube, which is why I'm going to spam this link in chat. And if you are a member, you should go and hit the notify me button because you will miss it. It doesn't show up on the main channel page all the time. I don't know why. And we're going to come up on the time where we're going to be ending or we're going to be closing off submissions because we do have a bunch more to get to here in the Discord channel. A good handful more. We do still have some room. If you already became a member and you have been trying to submit, do make sure you follow the directions when you type !new member. That gives you instructions on how to link your YouTube and Discord account. I promise following those directions and reading that article thoroughly will get you much further than just asking over and over in chat, what do I do? What do I do? If you're not sure about the process, submissions are open to channel members. You can join the channel for as low as $2. There's a join button below this video or on this video that you can hit, join, become a member. That gets you access to the Discord. Again, use the !new member command to get instructions. And that's how you get in. I want to thank everybody for submitting and hanging out. Hope you all are having a good time. William says, glad I got to watch you guys online for once. Yes, William, thank you. I'm glad you made it to a stream. Extra Trip says, hello, first time seeing you. What's up? Welcome. I hope you're enjoying. All right, I'm having a great time listening to your music. You all are doing great. Let's listen to Dotkey next. We're gonna keep things rolling. So I think it's probably going to be by 12:15 p.m. my time. That's in about 20 minutes. I'm going to close off submissions unless we get a huge influx, and I'll close it off faster. But make sure you get your submission in the Discord. Dotkey, Garden of Memories. From the melodic elements of the guitar to the bells. Like marimba or vibraphone. Well done. All right, let's talk about it. I think, yeah, there's some very good elements. STK says, love the guitars. STK is a great one to point that out because STK also always has great guitars in his tracks. I agree. I think all the general tones of this track are good. All the pieces. The drums are great. All the sounds. Guitar, the little bells, like I said, it's kind of like a hard mallet instrument, I'm not sure, but washed out by reverb, which I think is cool. We got the piano, that soft sort of field recording in the background. So good job overall getting all those elements. My feedback. If you think about those tracks that were in a similar vein that we just listened to, I was complimenting the structure of them often. And that's because they took the time to do intros and outros. That is what this track is missing. It just starts. We never get any introduction really to your world. It's kind of, we're just right in on it. Even if it's just a little 1-bar intro, little something new before we really get into the meat and potatoes of the track, I think it helps the listener a lot. It's less jarring. Because remember, this is like relaxing music. You have to, even relaxing music, if you just smacked in the face with it, can kind of be jarring. Where? So I would say take the time to set the tone. Do the same thing for an outro. And then another piece of feedback I have is every time it seems a melody is introduced in this track. Oh, we got a big jump incoming and out of here. Every time a melody is introduced, it is always immediately accompanied by a counter melody. First of all, and what's interesting is the main chord progression, dun, 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 that is almost acting as a melody because it's got that top note on it. And we have that second guitar come in. These are playing nice together. Suddenly now we have a third and fourth melody come in. The guitar gets a little more complicated with its melody and the bells coming in. So it ends up kind of getting a little confusing. And think about how many elements a listener can actually grab onto at a time. So give each part its due. Don't feel like you have to have these different counter melodies at the same time, or figure out better ways to have them call and respond. I mean, even here, the mallet instrument is immediately competing with the piano. They're very similar elements, and they're kind of usually existing at the same time rather than giving each other space to do call and response. So just notice that with your melodies. Give each melody its own space. Yes, do counter melodies, but do it in a way that complements the main melody. And make a decision, which one is the main melody? Because to me, it sounds like each time those two melodies are presented here, they're both supposed to be main melodies, or they could both be main melodies if they weren't competing with another thing. So it's all good musical ideas, but sometimes too many at the same time. And at a minute 39, you have time to extend this track to at least over 2 minutes and give each one its due. And the other thing is, sometimes we have to kill our darlings, and we can't use every great melody that we come up with. Sometimes for the sake of the track working as a whole, we have to take some things we love away. Maybe you use it in a later track, or maybe you do build space for it, but sometimes you have to make hard decisions like that. But overall, great mood setting. I would definitely add this to the Lo-Fi Loft playlist. Good job, Dotkey. Piccolo Black is up next. What do we got going here? How we doing on levels, everybody? Music level, voice levels, good. You let me know. Just checking in on that. Oh, Black always got something cool happening. I'll find a way. Really great ear candy. Here we go. Black, ladies and gentlemen, and MVs. Really good. Yo, build out that outro a little bit more. We kind of left it unresolved a little bit. You don't have to resolve it, but it ended so abruptly. I didn't expect it to end right there. Good job, Piccolo Black. I can say for sure you've made huge improvement over this past year of like developing your sound, taking a clear, being deliberate about what your sound is, but then crafting it into a great listening experience. So what's interesting is I think the mixing on the back half of the track is so much better than the first half. Those drums are sitting in such a comfortable space. Here in the first half, it's a little slightly more experimental. You have all these different elements happening, which is really, really cool. But obviously that makes for a more complex mixing challenge. Hi-hat stutters jump out a ton mix-wise. Like all of a sudden become the loudest thing. Be weary of that. Be weary of random little percussion things. When you're mixing like this, like these are great elements to have in your music. Pay attention to them on mixing so that they don't pop out. Because when you have all these little details, now suddenly all those little details have to be mixed accordingly, and that can get complicated, and I know it's a whole process. But from a creative standpoint, beautiful, beautiful track. I can't stress that enough. The one thing I wish about this B section is what's weird is it almost sets it up in a way that I think the track is going to completely transform instead of what it actually does, which is evolve into this amazing new thing that does belong, that does connect, but is still new. When we land on this bridge, there's like a different chord implied here for some reason. There's like a weird chord implied there or something. And I do like the atmospherics of it all. I like what you're doing. I think I need something to hold me over, some common element from this first section to just hold over a little bit here, to just like guide me through so I guess like the metaphor is like, so I feel safe going into this new dangerous section for a little bit. And then it can let go and say, okay, go, be on your own now. One more thing to carry me over. And maybe you can maintain the groove a little bit, somehow, a little more percussion instrument, a leading note. Yeah, my initial idea was you have that vocal line, I'll find a way, or something. Find a way. If you could take I'll find a way, like slow it down and drift it over that bar line, because then he starts to come back in, which is cool. One more little element to carry over. Fantastic track. Piccolo Black, it gets better and better every time you submit. Good job. Let's hear this drop one more time. I love that snare. That's so cool. Piccolo Black, great job. Woo. As usual, go give a follow to all the folks in chat who you like to listen to. And a reminder that if you are waiting to submit, now is the time. I'm going to cut off submissions in about 5-ish minutes. So if you want to join and become a member to submit, now is the time to do it. Everybody who is already a member, you can still get your submissions in. But I'll be cutting off new submissions in about 5 minutes. Hey, lowercase I. Nice. Very cool. A lot of you are very much responding to this track as well. Seems like a lot of people enjoyed it a lot. Obviously, all the elements are beautiful. The sound selection is fantastic. The musical ideas are great. Hear me out, chat. Here's my feedback. I gotta get to the moment. This is a great intro, a great setting the tone, right? Then I believe it's gonna be here. Not yet. Here. All right. At that moment, 37 seconds in. Here's my thing. These are beautiful emotional elements, but the table has not been set nearly enough, in my opinion. I think some of you will disagree. To get to this point. Imagine if you started a movie at the moment a really important character dies. It's like, okay, everybody's acting very emotional about this moment in this movie, but I have no connection to this character because I didn't watch the beginning of the movie. What am I supposed to feel? You know what I mean? That's the best analogy that I can come up with. It mostly comes down to that top guitar part. So yes, while it is beautiful, I feel like we got there all of a sudden, and like it didn't quite earn the like if you compose this track for a specific 2-minute piece of media and it made sense with the visuals, or if it was like a 30-second track and all you had was 30 seconds to build up to a moment, you could get there. But I think we could have maybe done something before that. Like that synth is here. Dun 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 dun. That could have come in before that top guitar part. We could have done something a little more with the rhythm. The whole track could have been one like V-shaped build-up. I don't know. I don't know how to articulate it more than that. It's like that moment is like jumping into a movie, jumping into the most emotional part of a movie, but without having watched everything that came before it. Otherwise, though, it's a beautiful track, and I think you can see how people responded in chat. Not everybody feels the way that I feel. Just something to think about for next time. But lowercase I, great work with this track Callisto, very high quality, ambient lo-fi or whatever. I'll say on that, don't give it an or whatever. Like have command respect for your work. Call it what you think it is. And don't feel like you have to qualify it. All right, chat. We're about to close off the submissions. We're about full on submissions today. Doug Tor, let's get this in here. So if somebody, we're gonna listen at least to the first couple minutes of this track. Usually we don't listen to much longer tracks, but we'll give it a listen. If you're in the Discord and you want to type submissions closed for me, that would be helpful. This is the last call. Last call. You must become a member within the next minute if you're looking to submit. If you become a member in the next minute, you can submit. If not, after this track, I am closing the submissions officially. Interesting. All right, that's tough. Here's my thing. This is kind of like why first of all, we can't always listen to like full, like, well, we usually do at least the first 3 minutes of a track. Sometimes people submit 4, 5, 6, even 7-minute or longer tracks. The reason that exists is, first of all, so we can get to all the tracks that people have submitted and not have an overly long stream. The second reason that is because I find that many of you that submit tracks that are longer than 3 minutes, the tracks have no business really being longer than 3 minutes. The question you have to ask, and if somebody could type submissions closed in chat, that would be helpful. Thank you, Chadwick, for doing that on Discord. The thing you have to ask is, what journey are you bringing your listener on? If I skip to here, and I go here, there's very little change. The chord progression is exactly the same. The main chord element is exactly the same. We've changed some rhythm elements. If I go here, same elements with a few new additions, like that one new addition, that vocal. This is the test, right? And I see you've got a kind of 3-act structure here. You've got that camera sound. The reason I was like, okay, this is interesting at 1:30, because I thought we were going to transition to something new. Like, give me a new feel, give me a new chord progression, give me a brand new sound, not just a sound on top of all the old sounds. We need to be on a journey to justify the length of our track. I don't feel like I'm on a journey with this track, unfortunately. Do I think some of these elements are cool? Sure. You are already kind of at a disadvantage with this tempo and this general feel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. It already has a slow kind of trudging march feel. Where can you go with it? We could bring that up to double time. That's not the feel you're going for. That's fine. If you want to keep it chill and low and down tempo, we need more musical elements. And I say this, I think, every stream, but if you have an element that goes from the beginning of your song to the end of your song, something, you have to really be able to justify it. So this chord element, dun, 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 it's straight the whole time, right? Dun, dun, dun. So that's even further emphasizing the just straight and slow feel. And it's from the beginning to the end. We need something to build. Dr. says, my idea is to not shake it up too much because it's more for relaxation, but I see your point. Yeah, you can have a track for relaxation. Like we've listened to a few tracks already that do certain things with elements, bring things in, bring things out. And when I was just talking about that chord element, I mean, the easiest idea is at some point, get rid of it. Make the track more stark. If you don't want to add things and not shake it up, take some things away. It's good sound design, says Kirk. Yeah, I mean, the mixing is pretty good. And it's simple, right? Which is good. I mean that in a good way. It's simple. There's no offensive mixing things happening or anything. You did a good job on the mix. But I do now reimagine this section if that main chord instrument got taken away. And maybe there's a new atmosphere. And maybe that makes me feel more satisfied when we land on this third act and the chord instrument comes back in. Subtle things like that. Taking things away, bringing things in. But do a little more. I know you don't want to shake it up too much. It's for relaxation, but you can still build momentum and push and bring the listener on a journey without it being too shaken up. Something to think about, Dr. But I appreciate the submission. This is a good submission. I mean, it for sure is relaxing. some point, a little too much repetition is actually not relaxing, right? So think about it through that lens too. Gently presenting new or different ideas. All right, I've said enough. Doug Tor, thank you for that submission. I appreciate it. And thank you, Chadwick, for typing in the Discord. And thank you for Oraf for typing in this chat. I'll replace that pinned message. What am I hearing? I'm hearing something. Is everybody ready? Oh, okay. I know what that is. All right. Anyway, sorry for that chat. I lost my place in the Discord. Let's jump back down to Joshua Ho Music. I got to open it in Spotify. Stars turn for you and me. I'm going to turn my speakers on. I'm going to run to the bathroom very quickly as this track plays, but I can hear it. Trust me, chat. I can hear it. For you and me. So nice. First release with the Jazz Hop. Congrats on the release with Jazz Hop. How was the experience of releasing with them? Josh, are you in chat? You might not be in chat, but that's fine. Good track. The stars turn for you and me. Let me run that back real quick. I was listening, of course, from the other room during my bathroom break. A great build-up. Great field recording. The guitar recording sounds beautiful. Just the quality. And those two guitar tracks are existing together beautifully. Now we have a third guitar track. See how you can make three guitar tracks work? Because the two pluck tracks are complementing each other, and then it's a melody on top. don't know. Not much I can say about it. It's just great use of the stereo field, right? Those different guitar parts are happening. I mean, think about this track. It's basically... Okay, and point this out. See how it goes to that chord there? For the most part, we're on a normal chord progression that we expect, right? Second chord. And there's just two chord patterns. And then it changes in that moment, which does a lot. This little section right here is what I'm talking about when I'm talking to most of you about just doing a little switch up, stop being on the same loop the whole time. When Joshua goes to that section, it gives us the ability to not get fatigued with the same musical idea over and over again. We go to a little different section. Now we have an opportunity at this midpoint to build back up. There is a clear shape to this track. That's why this works. And to reference the last track when we talked about like a track being relaxing, this track is moving, this track is taking us on a journey, but there's no doubt that it's also a very relaxing, beautiful track, right? Shaker's a little loud in my opinion, but I always think that. And the little atmospheric elements in the background, like there's a little like electric guitar there. There's been that atmospheric pad in the back, but good use of just simplicity to make something really, really beautiful. Joshua Ho, well done. Congrats on that jazz hop release. Community members making moves all around. Good work. Zaid is up next. Irreversible freestyle with peace and love. I do not know what's coming lyric-wise in this next track, so if you've got sensitive ears, that's your warning. All right, here we go.
Men only think about the past right before their death, as if they were searching frantically for proof that they were alive. He looks down and sees a land of pure white velvet, glistening in the light. Turn back.
Now standing in this galloping shadow, swallowing smoke, got underneath, suffering catastrophe above. I'm on the cloud sitting, playing cats with the abyss, while my under six buried egoistic flesh and blood. 4 letters, N-U-M-B, instead of ring ring, hello, can you help me? I get that, yeah, choose a red pill, out of blues, infatuation's blinding, what is the point of views? It's getting to the face, giving cotton candy kisses, smoking reds like Spike, cause the loop is vicious, yeah, melancholy is my valentine, Stockholm syndrome, stuck in grief, make me glorify, if it's a vision of single float, I must heal, a dog is not my fate, yeah, single-handedly I juggled your trade, back in the blurry days I struggled to wait, but now, as I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, Poseidon saw me as I'm falling and he got everything. Something seems odd and there is no climax, cause end is the beginning is the fucking end.
When a life is born under the stars,
End is the beginning is the fucking end.
the star that warmed this planet.
Interesting. I'm interested in whatever that soundbite was at the end. Let me run that back. All right, Zaid, thank you for that freestyle. So here's the thing.
Searching frantically for proof that they were alive. He looks down and
Where is
sees
this?
a land of pure white velvet, glistening in the light.
Your vocal begins here.
Turn back.
Now standing in this gallop, swallowing
One
smoke,
thing about it is, I assume you're doing what you can with the equipment that you have, right? Recording vocals. The thing about it is, though, is this track starts with a very deep, very present vocal,
He looks down and sees a
very smooth sounding vocal. And then we transition to your vocal, which is just a little thinner sounding. You have a bit of a higher voice than, obviously, I mean, the first vocal is like very deep. You have a mid to high voice. So the juxtaposition of those two And then there's like little deep voice ad libs too. It kind of takes me out of it a little bit. Whereas if that before hadn't existed, then I might not have noticed that. I would also say there's a little too much reverb on the vocal. I think the lyric is cool. It sounds like you're referencing other songs at certain points, which is fine. I think the beat and your style of vocal works very well. I think keep going on this. I don't know if you're using BandLab or what, Zaid, or what you are using. Get a really solid vocal chain that suits your voice. It might work to put the low voice in the middle as a chorus. I agree. If your vocal came first and then there was a chorus in the middle, it might make more sense. But since we start with this, we have this expectation about what the main vocal is going to sound like, and then it changes, right? And get that vocal on top. I want to make sure. There are certain points where I want to make sure I'm hearing your voice. That vocal's got to be on top. I'm not saying blast it, make it so loud, but make sure it is very present, very dead center, very like at the forefront of the mix. Thank you, Zaid, for that submission. I like the deep vocal ad-libs as well, but against his vocal, it makes me realize that there's something missing from his vocal, that the mix is not quite on as for his vocal as it is for that original sample, that original ad-lib. And, you know, I'm thinking like that might even just be included in whatever beat this is. I'm not sure. Kirky beats. This is so not a lo-fi beat. So this is not a lo-fi beat is what I should say. Odin. Oh, drill beats. A new project for drill beats, Kirky? Okay. Hello, Gleam Boy. Are going nuts in a good way. Good job slowing those bells down here for a new section. Nice. Kirky, awesome. I think starting a second project or something for a new genre is a very smart idea, and it's going to keep you happy as an artist because you can make a bunch of different genres and you don't have to feel locked down to a single one under a single name. I think you did a great job on this track. At some point, since the bells are so frequent and so aggressive in a good way, they're like moving. I think you got to really pay attention to the level of them because some points they're like really, really loud, especially when it gets higher. Like we're perceiving the higher pitch sounds as louder, I think, or I am. So just be careful of that because those bells are relentless and they don't go away. Plasma Chasm, the submissions are closed for today, but you're welcome to join us next month for our next track review and submit then. The drums, yeah, the drums sound fantastic. The 808s sound fantastic. I listened to it on my speakers a little bit. There's just a little bit of soft clipping, which is nice. The soft clipping, the dirtiness is nice. One thing I'll say is, okay, so you want to do some drill beats. Seems like you want to do a harder, more aggressive style from your like previous lo-fi experience. What can you bring to the table in that is the question I have for you. What can you do that's going to make it the Kirky Beats or the new artist name version of this? Think about how you approach that with your lo-fi sound. What made your particular lo-fi sound you? Start to think about what your DNA, like as you of course are learning the technical parts of making this style of music, what are you going to do to bring your sound, your voice to this? Just think about that. I could make suggestions, but then that wouldn't be your voice. That would be my voice. If it were me, I'd be like, okay, how can I combine drill and some harder style EDM and do some like weird, almost dubstep-esque stuff in that or something like that. I don't know. Just think about it. Think about, you're making a smoothie, right? Now you can anybody can make a strawberry banana smoothie. But if you're like, oh, I got the Kirky Beats smoothie. This is a smoothie you never had before. This is my specialty. And you just handed me a strawberry banana smoothie. I'd be like, oh, so it's just a strawberry banana smoothie that you named Kirky Beats smoothie. But if you add one other ingredient, one special ingredient in there that makes it special, that makes it yours, then I'm like, the Kirky Beats smoothie, you know? Think about that with the music. What's the one little element you can throw into the blender? Well done. That was a nice surprise, a nice refreshing thing to hear from you, Kirky. Well done. We got Andre Van Zark up next. Yes, I saw a couple of people saying how to submit. Submissions are closed for today. Gosh darn it, I wanted to click that. Submissions are closed for today, but we do these streams every month. So if you want to just hang with us as a community right now, that'd be greatly appreciated. You'll hear some cool music, meet some other cool production producer artists. 8-bit stuff from Andre Van Zark. And hang out. But yeah, next track review will be next month. We do these once per month, and I try to give advance notice on them. New album release. Congrats, Andre. The conga's a real performance. Nice. I mean, it's very sparse. We have the synth, we have the drums, we have the congas. I wish I was getting more from the kick for sure. The synth seems to be the loudest thing in the track, but it's a little bit muddy, which is kind of making those hi-hats seem like the loudest thing in the track, actually. I think the hi-hats are the loudest because they're the only thing with all that high-end energy. And then an off-the-rails ending. I love that texture there at the end. Cool, Andre. Look, here's what I'll say. It's like, this is not the kind of music that I will listen to. Not really into like acid synths and stuff like that, but I can appreciate it. So you set the tone here. I think mixing can go a long way for you. Like I was mentioning, like that kick can come through a lot more. And I think for your tracks, like you're trying to do a lot of energy. You're also there's a bit of like a dark edge to your tracks a lot of the times. Embrace that and embrace that as a mixing element. Like add some heat in there. If you're gonna have a dirty sound, like that 303 just sounds kind of muffled. Could you have distorted it a little bit? Or at least pulled some of those mid-range, some of those weird mid-muddy frequencies out. Adding a little more distorted brightness on it might have helped too. But the kick too, we can add some heat to that kick and bring it up in the mix. The other thing I'll say too is you can have two different elements like a conga and like a acid bass or whatever. That's fine. But you have to make them be playing together. And I think they are just coexisting at the same tempo from when the congas come in till about the 1 minute 10 mark. They're just not connecting to each other rhythmically. And we do talk a lot about an off-the-grid feel, but an off-the-grid feel only works if you have some type of rhythm or groove. This track is a very straight ahead, like 4-to-the-floor bass with synth and conga. Now, eventually around 104, the conga and the synth start playing off each other. Things start to pick up and it's adding to the progression of the track, right? The rate of the synth picked up, the rate of the congas picked up, and they're kind of existing in the same world. Before that, they're not really existing in the same world. That goes mix-wise and that goes musically. So you have to find ways to make these things all fit together in the same world. You want to build a weird, wacky world where it's like acid synth plus congas, cool. But you're going to have to do a little work. You can't just stick a mic in front of the congas and record them and just perform on the 303, run a metronome and combine them at the same tempo. No, you should be deliberate about those musical ideas. From that standpoint, from the musical idea standpoint, how do these two musical ideas interact? And from a mixing, atmospheric, general tonal mood standpoint, how do these sounds interact? How do they fit together under this one umbrella? That is definitely something you should think about when composing going into the new year 2023, because I think you have interesting, unique taste that is very you. That's what I'll say. You've been very consistent about your taste and the styles and the elements you use in your music. Hone that, refine that, make it all work together. Think about that. Thank you, Andre, for submitting. We're going to keep things moving. A handful more tracks to go here. I hope you've all been enjoying this Saturday afternoon stream, listening to music from the community. I'm proud of each and every one of you for making such great progress this year. Shout out to all of you who are submitting for the first time. And just a reminder that we will be live again on Wednesday for a members-only live stream. And we will... Well, first of all, video coming out tomorrow. Don't forget that. Video dropping tomorrow. Please turn notifications on to make sure you do not miss that video. It's a very fun video. I try to make a beat tape in 24 hours. It goes kind of wrong in a few ways. That'll be fun to watch tomorrow. Members only VIP and up live stream on Wednesday. That's another workshop coming up on Wednesday. And then I believe we'll have our final stream of the year on Thursday. I want to take some time to think about that and confirm that because it is a little bit of a busy week and I'll be traveling for the holidays. But there we go. It's 9 p.m. here. Thanks, mate. When's the next? Well, that's the docket of what's coming up next on the channel. We do these streams. Track review streams are always on a Saturday and they are once per month. And I usually give advance notice on when those are. So make sure you're following, notifications turned on. If you're following me on Instagram and Twitter, I post about them on there as well. Let's listen to our friend Itami Beats. loudest thing, chat. Yes, it's the shakers. The shakers are too loud. Tommy Beast, thank you for your first submission. Well done. The musical ideas are all good. I like the guitar. I like the piano. I like that this intro happened with like a bit crusher on it, and then the beat came in and dropped. Perfect amount of setting the mood. Chadwick Ryder mentions dynamic levels. Here's the thing. It's kind of similar to another track that I was giving feedback on, where I was talking about competing elements and too many melodies at the same time. You have a lot of cool elements like the guitar, the vocals, and there's a piano melody. They all kind of stack on top of each other. And then on top of that, they're not mixed super well. So like I was pointing out, the shaker is the loudest thing in the mix. Shaker is already a brighter instrument that doesn't need to be mixed in that loud. So I'd bring that down for sure, but you have to think about, what do you want the listener to listen to? I mean, maybe they can listen to a melody and a counter melody, but what it seems like is the guitar, the vocal, and the piano are not really melody counter melody. They're just three melodic things happening all at the same time. So would this track become stronger if at some point the guitar went away and we just had bass plus that vocal sample? I suck at mixing, LOL, but yeah, I try. Yeah. This is a lifelong process that you'll get better and better at. So that's what we're here for. It's the feedback on how we can make small improvements to get us there. So think about it from an arrangement perspective. Have key melodic elements be deliberate about which melodic elements are happening when, which melodic elements are happening at the same time. Should they be happening at the same time? Or should they have their own place to shine? Where something else goes away, another melodic element takes over. You have time, you have space to do it. So give each part its time to shine. Don't feel like you have to combine everything. Only combine things that you feel like work and complement together. And mix them in a way so that this is the main melody, and then the thing that's countering it or the thing that's secondary can be there, but it's just under it, or it's just over to the side, or something like that. That's my main piece of feedback. But you've got all the pieces. You got all the pieces of the puzzle there. It's a great beat. Those are just some key ways you can improve it. It's like a good mix starts from a good arrangement and a good, collection of sounds. From there, then it's like detailing things like the levels of each things at certain points, This intro, one thing I would have suggested is, I do like the intro. Waiting for the transition. Instead of going right from bit crusher to clean, which it sounds like that bit crusher carries over to like that first downbeat a little. So be careful of your automation. Be deliberate about that. Maybe there could have been something else there, like a tape stop, instead of just a hot and cold, like on off. Or maybe the bit crusher moves towards the end of that, crushes even more, or it lifts off or something. A little more change there to smooth out that transition instead of going from one hard cut to the other. Just a thought. As usual, my advice is just my advice. My point of view. You don't have to take it. You can say, F you, Tetra, I'm going to do my own thing. And that's totally fine. All right, that was Lazy Afternoon by Itami Beats. Lazy Afternoon by Itami Beats. Thank you so much for submitting that for the first time. Welcome to the community, my friend. Thanks for joining. This next one looks like we got another spacey tune. Proxima Centauri by Infinite in the Sky. Heads up, it's not a lo-fi track. Hope you enjoy. It doesn't have to be a lo-fi track. No worries. Synths sound mono. Am I crazy? Lost in space with low oxygen level in suit kind of beat. True. Hey, what's up, Ian? Look, from a compositional perspective, you have good ideas. It's a cinematic thing that you're building here. I like gave his oxygen to his sister to save her life. Yes. I like that. We're having a story build up here. Okay, so that's cool. And I'm glad it went somewhere, right? Like you had a vision, you built up to this now electronic anthemic thing. But there's a couple things holding it back that are making it seem like it's your first time making this kind of track. That's what it makes it seem like. One of those things is the use of reverb. In a lot of places on this track, there is just a odd use of reverb that is making things muddy, that is putting certain things in certain spaces. Did it really just end like that? What happened? Wait. Whack. Come on. See, that is the kind of thing that is, if that's real. Akash. Yeah, it ended like that. I'm sorry. You don't have to be sorry to me, Akash. But what this tells me, and I'm going to harp on this for a second, not just to harp on you, but to teach everybody else too, like a lesson here. If that's how your track ended and you submitted it to major streaming platforms, that tells me that you that you were lacking a sense of attention and detail. that you just can't. You just can't. Like if this had been on like just SoundCloud or something, like you just uploaded a mixed version or whatever, but you went through the process of submitting to distributor and getting it out there, and that's how it ends. You can't do that. You have to have a higher standard for your work. Of course, it can just be a simple mistake. But you have to pay attention to things like that. That tells me you didn't listen to this mix all the way through to the last second before you submitted it. That's what that tells me. Okay, but then that kind of like informs what's going on with this mix. I'll do better. That's all we can ask, Akash. I know you will. We will all do better the next time, which is why even though I'm saying this, I'm glad you submitted. I'm glad you even released this track because it gives us the opportunity to say, this is where I'm at right now. This is how I can do better. That, what I just mentioned, is a really easy thing. You have to listen to your track to the last second before you submit it. You must do that. Okay, but the lack of attention to detail thing is like I'm not crazy. I don't think I'm crazy. Maybe some of these sounds are not mono, but that main synth that's very beautiful and shimmery is like so centered. It should be like big. And I don't know why it's not. I don't know what's going on there. And then you have these long tones. You can overlap some of these long tones. And here's where my problem is. Piano, listen. Those notes in the background, the middle notes, very gentle, very pushed back. Those lower notes are even further away in the reverb. And then that top note smacks us in the face. Why? Is it one piano? Is it three pianos? It should probably be one piano. It should be one piano in one space. You want to have a top note on there that sticks out a little more, that's fine. But it's so different, right? You have one that's way down here in the low space that sounds like it's a mile away, which has so much reverb on it that the reverb tail is bleeding over note to note. And when you have bass notes and the notes of the bass notes are bleeding over each other, it makes for this mushy, messy, not great sound. Then you have, the listener, right? We're like, oh, we're off in space. We've got this floaty piano sound. And then boom, top note in your face. Doesn't fit. So this is what I mean. This is an example of being deliberate and being detail-oriented in your work. Like, what vibe are you actually trying to create there? If you're trying to wake people up, everything should be bright and close. If you're trying to set people at ease, you have to pay attention to those velocities on these notes and where they are in your mix. Then the last thing I'll talk about here is this little thing as we build up to this transition. The drums, the reverb on the drums, it's not working. You want to have far away drums, pull them down in the mix, put a bit of reverb on them, but the huge reverb tails, every time you add a huge long reverb tail, and if you have it on multiple instruments, you're creating all these tails that are creating a lot of mid-range mush that is just contributing to your mix being kind of messy. But you try to do like an EDM style build up here. What I would have rather you had done is during this build up, start to introduce some of the electronic drums and then fully do the build up using the electronic drums. It does not work on these acoustic drums. Okay, and then think about this. You have this big epic section, like very Hans Zimmer. And then the drums are just these little teensy drum machine electronic drums. And then meanwhile, all the other instruments are going like full blast. So you have to think about that. You did something between an orchestral and a future bassy vibe. Yes, but you can blend the two. When you blend them and interweave them, rather than do orchestral, and then boom, future bass, it's just jarring. And you ended up using one element for the future bass musical idea, which was that build up. Didn't work, and then you switch to the future bass. So it's how do you interweave and blend them? How do you start to clue in your listener that like, hey, something's coming, wink, wink, nod, nod, like a movie using foreshadowing, right? Yeah, and then we lose all the size of the drums. The drums make it sound so small when really your synths are just like going nuts. There's like a little bit of overcompression as well. So I say all this, but I want to remind you that I think your musical ideas are good. I think you can build a great orchestral / future bassy electronic track. The ideas are there. The work to be done is your attention to detail, putting in some work on the mixing side of things, and putting some work on your vision. Like what is your true vision for this? Not for the whole track even, for this section. What's your vision for this section? Your vision for that section? If you get to the end and you say, I want to have this big, huge finale, that doesn't make sense as a drum choice for your big, huge finale. If in that little mellow section towards the beginning, middle, is meant to sort of lull people but build towards something more, then you shouldn't have blasting piano notes on top of the more mellow piano, right? If you have a clear vision for what each section is supposed to be doing, then that creates rules. Okay, I want this section to be mellow but then build up. What are the rules for that then? No jarring sounds. No super bright sounds. Oh, I want this section at the end to be super epic and huge. What does that mean? Oh, I'm going to need something with a little more oomph here, not just these small drums. All that to think about. I like the future bassy touch in the chorus. I agree. I think the musical ideas are good. I think I'll say this is for everybody. It's not enough just to have the good musical ideas. You can have great musical ideas composed and put together in a way that people won't listen to because of the way that it's mixed or the way that it's... Think about your greatest hero in music, whoever that may be. I want you to listen to your tracks and imagine what would your greatest hero in music say? Or imagine that you're listening to your greatest hero in music, or like somebody that you look up to. Like if you, for instance, Akash liked Hans Zimmer or something, listen to your track and imagine that it's a Hans Zimmer track. But listen to it, and the moment you can no longer pretend that it's a Hans Zimmer track is when you know that there's something you need to fix and change and do better on. Did we already listen to Jiminator J? No, we did not. All right, a few more tracks to go through here. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out, having a good time. I hope you're enjoying the stream. Please leave a like as you're watching right now. Please leave love on some of these producers' channels, pages, etc. Ooh. Cool visual. If I'm sold on that symbol on the snare. Visual collage is cool because it sets the tone, like it helps set the tone for the track. drums. Could have used more energy at the end here. The thing is, like, even though I can sense that the track is trying to build an energy throughout, it never actually felt like it did build an energy throughout. The sound selection is cool. I know this style is like very popular right now. It is again, and I hate to sound like a broken record, it is again a lot of like, first of all, Jim and AJ, thank you for the submission. This is a good track. And again, I do like the visual pairing. I think it makes a lot of sense. You definitely have a creative vision here. What I want to say is like a lot of this music is like, not this music, but a lot of when people are just starting out, right? You have single elements that just run through the whole track, and it doesn't allow your track to grow over time. The musical ideas don't evolve because they're loops, and then sound-wise it doesn't evolve because you're using the same sounds throughout. So even though we like dipped here, we have a B section here where it's supposed to build back up. We introduce the string sound, and we build up to what? Something that's not all that different than here. It actually has less energy. The drums are like brighter and more crisp here. And this is supposed to be the epic finale, and I can hear that those synths are doing epic finale stuff, which is cool. But like, it's not different enough. And I think it comes down to the drums. We need more energy in the drums. We need more movement. Maybe sound-wise, we just need more ear candy or something. But make sure your tracks are evolving. If they're meant to evolve, which I think this track is meant to evolve, make sure they are. And how do you do that? What I just talked about, adding energy. Thank you, Jim and AJ, for that submission. A couple more tracks to go. Let's keep cruising on through. We have Puro. Get rid of the beat tag. My first suggestion. Definitely not twice on the beat tag. Reverse symbol is too loud. I like the sort of swelling sounds, right? And this is a good example of like there's one melody. There's nothing distracting us from that one melody, so that's cool. That effect sound is so loud. You guys gotta pay attention to the details of that, like what the loudest things in your mixes are. So now that piano became the melody, but notice how that swelling sound is now much louder than that piano thing. That doesn't make sense. Those should be adjusted. Cool bass here. Awesome. Get rid of the tag. You're no longer allowed to use the tag. We know who you are. We're listening to you on SoundCloud. This guitar fits the mood perfectly. I wish the tone of this synth, in terms of the space on it, matched that guitar more. Because right now it just feels like a plucky thing on top of a beat, where the guitar blended so well. Good bass here too. And a little end stinger. Well, good job doing an ending. Some people just end. Okay, this section, beautiful section. Why is it beautiful? Because you lean into the strengths of the simplicity. A good melodic instrument, some good chords, a solid bass line, and decent drums. Though the kick is lacking. As opposed to this section, which is cool, but it's a little bit meandering. And like I was talking about before, make sure the thing that you want people to be listening to, the main melody, is on top. Your elements should not be at the same level throughout your entire track. You're going to have to move them around when they shift in priority. Yeah, the use of the tag thing, I don't mean to harp on it so much, but it's like you have to ask yourself, why are you using a tag in the first place? Guess what? If somebody just decided to steal your track, you're never going to know about it anyway. It's not worth ruining like the musical vision to throw on a weird thing 3 times. Like, it's crazy. You just don't need to do it. This section is really good. If you can give the same attention to these sections, that'd be good. But man, I don't want to talk about the same things over and over again, but guess what? I'm consistent. I'm gonna have the same opinions a lot of the time about a lot of this music because I am consistent. If you came expecting to hear me say something different about every single track, that would mean my views are all over the place and make no sense. But here's my thing. This drum loop is like the same. It's the same drum loop throughout the entire track. How do I make that go away? Why? It's the same exact drum loop. You can at least vary the kick a little. You can at least add like a little reverb snare every 3rd snare or something later on. You can at least vary the hi-hat pattern a little, you know? Anything you've copied and pasted across your tracks, everybody, you must have a good reason for copying and pasting it. It must be the best idea. If it's not, if it can take some variation, put a little variation. Don't go overboard. I know your first instinct is to like, okay, I'm going to make it radically different. No, change a hit here and there. Take a 4-bar loop and make it an 8-bar loop with a little bit of variation the second time around. It goes such a long way, even the subtlest of changes. Piero Beats, thank you so much for that submission. We're going to get to our submission from AO here. No human beings were harmed on making this track. We'll see about that. What about during the listening? Interesting. Fun. Going here. Just pay attention to the trade-off and the handoff of different elements because it's doing really well. We're keeping momentum while dialing back energy. Pay attention to that. that. That's a lot of fun. I love this style of beat, the style of sound choice. I think we could have got a little more of that female vocal later in the track. Like, especially at the end, if we brought that back. Something like that at the end. Because I think what I was thinking during this part, this build up, I wanted something a little bit bigger there. And I do think what I hear tracks like this do a lot of times is they use silence to their advantage. You could have done a brief beat of silence there right before that drop. It would have been very effective. Or even like a stutter effect where it's like because the beat is relentless. It keeps going. You did a good job, like when that moment where I talked about we kept the groove, but we dialed back energy because the hi-hats and stuff went away. It's cool. I would have done a little less reverb on those vocals. And there's that vocal at the beginning. Oh, na, na, na. That just sounds like a top line instead of like a vocal sample. What I would have done is chopped each of those hits. Oh, na, na, na. And maybe they're getting cut off at the end a little bit each time or something. Make them sound like vocal chops rather than just a top line. Because that top line doesn't make sense there. Has a bit of a passionate feel, sure. And there's elements of like Sean Wasabi in there as well. This was a very cool, fun track. Aton Miles, thank you so much for submitting that. Y'all go give a follow. Aton deserves more than 5 followers on SoundCloud, right? So that's cool. I would love to listen to an album of this kind of music. I have a place that I follow called like Cute Beats or something like that. That's similar vibes. Not exactly the same, but definitely a cool vibe. I do like this, like cutesy. I think somebody in chat said like pretty, like those kind of sounds I think are cool. All right, good job. A 10. And with that, my friends, our stream has concluded for the day. Our final track review of the year. That brings us to the conclusion. I want to thank everybody who submitted. Thanks to everybody who's hanging out. A few reminders before we go. We got big plans this week. First of all, 3 videos have already gone up on the channel, so go check those out on before you get off of YouTube today. Second of all, a new video is dropping tomorrow. Make sure you turn on post notifications or channel notifications so you get notified when the new videos drop. Because that one's coming out tomorrow and it's a fun one. You don't want to miss it. There's also a members only workshop happening that is available to VIP members and above. If you want to upgrade anytime before now and Wednesday, you can get access along with access to all of our other members only content. But that members only workshop is happening there. We'll be live. That's next Wednesday for members only. Our last live stream, I think it's going to be Thursday, this Thursday coming up, but I'll confirm that on socials. As usual, I'm always posting stuff on Instagram and Twitter, so make sure you follow over there. The links are in the description. It's helpful if you follow over there because it's a lot easier for me to get like news and posts and thoughts out on those platforms than YouTube, where you like won't see a community post. Are you going to continue the music theory series? Good question, Gleam Boy. Maybe in 2023 I'll revisit that. And that's it, everybody. Congrats to all of you for your progress over the past year for submitting tracks. Whether you submitted 1 track this year, 3, 5, 10, however many you submitted, congrats to all of you. I've seen progression, all of you that have submitted multiple times for sure. Here's a cool playlist for y'all if you want to listen to a Tetro video playlist. And that'll be it. I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'll see you next time. Thank you all so much for watching. This has been Tetro. Have a good one.